It's November 9th. We've got about a 15 to 20 mile per hour wind here. And that's a perfect wind for where we're going. It's out of the west. We're going to go up this valley that runs from the west up at the top down to the east at the bottom, and we're going in from the bottom. And I've tried to go up through there before when it was still and I had deer blowing at me from both sides. So it's definitely one of those situations where the wind is your friend. But high 40s, and the spot we're going to is probably at the very, I'm guessing, northwest end of the range of this 10-pointer that I'm hunting. It might be beyond his range. I had a camera somewhere in this area pretty close to it, and I never picked him up on there. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't moved in that direction a little bit. It's just a big long extension of that ridge that he's been living on. And it's a big block of woods, so just because he's not in there, it doesn't mean that something else couldn't have moved in. It'll be a fun spot to sit. It'll be, probably, it's early in the afternoon, so we'll have plenty of time to get in there and get set up, I think, before hopefully we see a little bit of activity this afternoon. I have just as much fun shooting does, I think, as I do shooting bucks. That shot angle is not, necessarily the recommended shot for everybody, but I'm shooting 80 pounds with a 32-inch draw. And that was the B3 fixed blade broadhead, Destruct 3, I think it's called. So it made pretty short work of that doe. That buck is still standing down there. He doesn't know what to think of it, but that doe only went about 70 yards. So he's still got an hour and 45 minutes left, maybe 2 hours of hunting left. So we might get some more action. Another little one. See another small one. Okay. Yeah. I'll shoot that deer big time. Yeah. 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 that makes up for a lot of days of not seeing any deer. That was really cool. This deer is one that I've never seen before on camera. When he was coming in, he just looked like an older deer. Nice heavy antlers, big bodied. He just had the look of a mature buck. And he was crossing at about 25 yards behind the tree. And I was not in a very good position there because I had to kind of reach around the tree. Well, I was trying to grunt to stop him, and he heard that. And rather than stop, he started coming toward the stand. And I've had him do that before, where they hear that sound and they don't really know what it is, and they kind of react to it by coming closer. Well, then you saw it. I mean, it was a tough setup, and I guess when I finally got the shot, Carson wasn't able to get the actual hit on camera, but I'd say it was back lung. He just went a little ways over there and he's laying dead now, probably about 5 minutes later. So we got some work today. We got a doe down the hill and a buck up the hill. I've got more tags in my pocket. I guess we could see how many deer we could put on the back of a four-wheeler, but no, that was cool. And I'm excited about the fact that was a surprise buck. Very rarely have I had that happen in my years of bow hunting, and usually they're deer that you know are there, which is kind of discouraging some years if you don't have any big ones or any mature bucks. But this one breathed a little bit of life back into me, because even though I didn't have that deer on camera, I ended up with a really nice buck. So very cool. I'm excited about that one. We're going to give him a couple more minutes and we'll climb down. We watched him lay his head down just a little bit ago, so I'm sure he's dead. But we'll just give him a little bit more time and then we'll head over there. It's a really nice deer. He wasn't a complete stranger. I had a picture of him in velvet, and he had blood dripping off the velvet onto the side of his face. So good, I'm gonna get a tag on him, and then we'll pull him out and get a better look at him. At first I didn't know which buck this was when he was coming in, but now that I look at him, this is that deer that I got pictures of him last September, down in the bottom below, and then this year in September I had pictures of him up on the ridge about, it's a quarter of a mile probably from here, and he was in full velvet, which was really cool. And then I had a couple pictures of him after he shed, but I lost him after that. He disappeared, so I don't know where he went, but he's back now. He's not leaving again. So that's cool. I like it when you get a buck that you didn't expect to get. Sometimes you grind and grind and grind for a certain deer, like I've been doing for this other 10-pointer, and then this guy pops up out of nowhere. So I'll take it any way I can get it. This was a really nice deer, really fun hunt. Carson did a good job with the camera. So everybody wins except the buck. Welcome to Hoyt's Bow Hunting Whitetails. I'm pretty fired up about that buck. It was a deer that I didn't expect to get. Looking back now, I did have a couple pictures of him about 200 yards from that spot back in October, and I didn't recognize that deer, but I thought he was a total surprise, but as it turns out he wasn't. He just was a deer that disappeared, which when they come back again, that's pretty cool. So when we head out to the stand here for this afternoon's hunt, today's the 12th. I killed that buck on the 9th. You also, was it the 9th for you? The 10th. Yep. So Ethan's got another story to tell, another chapter of his hunt for this buck with the flyer off the G2. And while we're heading to the stand, he's going to tell us what happened on his encounter, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the spot once we get there. Hoyt's Bow Hunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, Hunt Stand Pro Whitetail, Fuse Accessories, Elevate Tree Stands, B3 Releases and Broadheads, and Hoyt.
That's him. What's that? That's him. Are you kidding? No, it's him. You on it? Yeah. Ready? Yep. Yeah, stop. He's looking now. You're gonna have to do something. He's walking away. He's going away. Grunt at him, maybe?
Can you see him still?
No, he's behind that big tree in front of me.
I don't even know what else to do. Oh, there he is. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Carson, he's over here. Carson. Hold on. Is he coming?
I'm ready, yeah. Oh, yeah. We might get lucky, you never know. Walking, he's running down the other way. No, he's up into the corn.
That is encounter number 2 with the flyer buck. And I don't know if that one hurts more than the first encounter. I think think it does. It feels like we've been chasing a ghost for the last 10 days. And, man, finally have the chance, and it's just slips right through your fingers, unfortunately. It's November 10th today, and Carson and I are back on this big ridge stand at the head of the ditch. It's a perfect funnel, and about 7:30, we were just sitting here talking, and Carson looks up and said, "Hey, there's a deer right there." And I pull up my binoculars, and yeah, that's him. He's working that ridge like he's done before, and we've had him on camera here the last few days, so. Oh man, that is so disheartening. When he was walking that ridge, he's walking left to right down the ridge and kind of looking like he was going away from us. So I hit the horns together really quick, and he stopped and looked at us and kind of kept walking. We really didn't think anything of it. Well, he kept moving down this ridge, and I saw him again, and this time he was facing right at us, probably 100 yards away, and he was heading right into the scrape where he's been on camera. So Carson, he turned around, had everything going, and then for some reason he just took a hard right and ran over here, and I don't have any shooting lanes over here where he was at, and I needed him to take like 5 more steps. And as all mature bucks do, he gave us a slip, and he worked in and came in downwind. I don't know. It's pretty frustrating. 10 days of hard hunting for that encounter, and he needed to take 5 more steps. I don't know what the rest of our morning is gonna bring. I'll probably sit here for another couple minutes and maybe get out and see if I can't just get out of here before we bust anything up too bad.
I love that entry route that we've got coming in here. I'm sure that if anything is up on that ridge or even out in these open grass fields, there's no way they're going to see us when we sneak in this way. It's a bit of a long shot for this afternoon's hunt, just because we're on the edge of that 10 points range, the one that I've been hunting all season, but we're an awful long ways away from the timber, so he'd have to have a serious reason for coming this far away, and I don't know what it would be. Maybe to cross the valley behind, but he was using this area quite a bit back in September and October, but not nearly as much in November. So, Ethan, time for us to talk about your buck and what you're going to do now. I mean, it was obviously a big disappointment, to have 2 close calls with that buck now and not be able to get him. But what are your thoughts? I mean, let me put it this way, I'll make it easier for you. What are you going to do next?
Stay after him, I guess, and just continue to put our time in. We know this week the wind's not great for that spot, so maybe just...
So the south wind blows right into the timber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just kind of stay out of there this week, let everything calm back down, and you know, be opportunistic and hunt the cold fronts when it's coming, and maybe, you know, like the 16th through the 22nd when they're starting to find some more does and whatever, start looking some more. We can make a play on him then.
Yeah, it's kind of been my experience that really it's after, I always thought that the 22nd through the 28th was really good. Somewhere, you know, in that time frame, usually right around Thanksgiving, it can get really good again. That's why I'm hunting so far on the fringe of this 10-pointer. I think I can kill that deer up on the ridge at the tail end of the rut. You know, after most of the does are bred, the bucks go back to food pretty aggressive, and there's corn up there. So I'm just trying to stay away. There's no reason to be pressing him now with, you know, the warm weather coming, the middle of the lull, or the middle of November, which is a kind of a lull in the rut. So I've got a conservative plan for that deer. You're just going to sit and rest a little bit and then go back after yours. So it's going to be a few days where maybe we won't be hunting quite as aggressively, and then hopefully it'll be a little bit more action again after that.
We can hope so.
Yeah, the next third time's a charm.
That's what I'm hoping for.
So we'll check back in here in just a little bit to conclude this hunt. I've got the Hoyt RX-8 set up, and it's in the tree with me. And I'll talk about that here in the next couple of days. I'll compare it to the RX-7 and just show you guys on one of the setup episodes the difference between those two bows. But we've got a couple hours left of legal shooting time here. It'll be interesting to see what comes out. I really want to know if they're coming into this field at all, if they're even coming out in the open. My guess is probably not, but we're going to find out. I'm going to go ahead and close it up right now. We've got, you know, probably almost an hour of legal shooting time left, but down in this valley, it's going to get dark early. This phase of the rut that we're coming into now can be pretty challenging to hunt. And without diving into details right now, I would just encourage you to come to the Whitetail Watch episode on Wednesday. I'll talk about that in more detail there. You know, how we're going to approach it and what the deer are doing during this time. Ethan, he's been licking his wounds, feeling sorry for himself. I think he's going to give up deer hunting and take up, what, knitting or
Table tennis.
Table tennis. But he'll get back in action again soon, I'm sure. It was a good week, you know, overall. I'd say we had some good action. In turn, Carson Christensen shot a buck also, and that one had a few twists and turns to it, so we'll bring that into the next week's episode, and hopefully a little bit more action from both Ethan and myself. If anything else comes out here, we'll bring it to you. I'm going to continue to post daily blogs or daily videos each day that I hunt. There won't be one tonight. That's going to be on this episode, but keep checking back for those. And we appreciate you joining us. We'll see you right back here again in the near future for the next episode of Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. And remember to always, I'd like to say dream big for Ethan, but he's feeling kind of bad. So remember to always dream big.